chat. Here we go. Sorry, we were muted there for a second in between matches. But we've got Daniel and aZapatos at the start of Salt Mine Stage 2. We are into the North American games. We are covering all 6 games today. And as you might be able to tell, we are slightly under the weather today. But the show must go on, and the Salt Mine show has been good so far today. So we have Daniel versus aZapatos, then we have First Killer versus... What other matches do we have today? First Killer versus Lion Blaze, and then Daniel again. Daniel versus Evo. So that's who we've got today. No matches so far have happened in North America, so there's been a lot of shakeup in EU. We'll see if the same thing happens again to the North Americans. Now, if you've been following the Salt Mine, you know that aZapatos made it into the Stage 1 all the way through the qualifier without losing a single game, but didn't win a single match when it came to Salt Mine pool play, so was forced into the promo relegation where he stayed qualified. He had to do it through the lower bracket, I believe, but he qualified nonetheless. And so aZapatos is here to try and defend his honor again, second time around. See if he can maybe put up some wins against some of the toughest competition there is. Now, Daniel, his previous trip to the Salt Mine, finished in the grand final against First Killer, where he wasn't able to get past what is the Salt Mine King over in North America. So will he be on a one-way ticket right back to the grand final with First? We'll have to see. For now, he's on a one-way ticket to a win right against aZapatos because he's got 4 goals to it. aZapatos is 0. What are your thoughts on Toxic's run? Yeah, Toxic went 6-0 in his first 2 matches against really tough competition. I believe it was Rawas and then Moxie, right? So very impressive 6-0, but then dropped to Khaled, which was interesting. I didn't get to see that match, so I don't know how that went. But a bit surprising considering how on form he looked in his previous matches. But you'll just have to continue that top-tier gameplay tomorrow. Daniel is showing no mercy against Mr. aZapatos, who I've mentioned previously is a guy who is very good at separating the talent from the not quite there yet type 1s players. You know, anybody who's on the up and up, aZapatos usually crushes them and shows that they're not ready to hang with the big dogs. But aZapatos has had a tough time grabbing wins off of the top players, despite him being in, really high in the 1s leaderboard in the position where you'd think he might be able to. So a matchup like this against Daniel is one that aZapatos normally struggles in. He's struggling so far, but he's got a lot of time left, not only in this game, but in this series, if he wants to try and bring it back. When you get a chance, could you explain the basics of the format? Sure, yeah, I'll explain the basics as aZapatos takes a nice aerial shot to get his second goal. He may only have 2 goals, but a very impressive one to get himself on the board again. It is pool play, so if you're talking about the previous stages, it's kind of hard to get into, but let's break it down. Each stage is pool play into a bracket. And the bracket can be a little bit confusing because technically it's like slightly double and single elimination, but let's just say it's a bracket. Everyone is assigned points based on how well they do, and those points contribute to getting you into the next event. Players near the bottom are going to have to try and defend against people trying to qualify. There's really a lot to it, if I'm being honest. But at the end of the day, to make it as simple as possible, 3 different events, all which are pool play into brackets, and your points over the whole event are very relevant as you go on. So First Killer winning the first stage in North America, Daniel getting second. aZapatos unfortunately finished last in his pool. Why do you insta-skip replays? When these guys play a lot of games, like 3 straight matches, I think in general I like to skip a little bit more often. These guys have really long days. So, instead of them coming in for a quick match, like they were talking about earlier, a nice pogo shot from aZapatos. I think Zen played all 15 of his matches. He played 15 games in his 3 matches, which is just like insane. It's a lot to ask of them, and then if you're watching every single replay, it can get even lengthier. This is like a nice shot by Daniel. We'll watch it because you pointed it out, but these guys throwing down so many 6 shots. when we're doing the qualifiers, I think the like rules from the admin or whatever was basically skip everything. Technically, the rule was like skip what the players skip, but the players skip everything. I haven't seen a player like watch a goal almost ever. But I don't think those rules necessarily apply to the main events. But we still, what I've just been doing is skipping slightly more often. Not trying to skip everything. But 10-2, Daniel dominating. I mean, that's certainly going to lead to a lot more skips when a series or a game is as lopsided as this one is. aZapatos hasn't had a ton of opportunities to attack a defending Daniel. Just seems like he's been on the back foot the entire time. Right now he's really just trying to discover what will work for him in the coming parts of the series. And apparently this flick will work. He slots the top right flick. He's definitely talented, and he has those flicks both directions in this plank car. aZapatos. It's not going to be easy to win those low 50 drops, I think, with a plank car. I'd have to ask aZapatos what he feels. But when somebody reads the fact that, you're setting up a dribble and looks to dive, oftentimes taller cars, drop the ball and then use their tall hitbox to win a 50 without even jumping. aZapatos basically tried to do that, but he did it with a plank, and I think it might be a lot harder to do with a plank. Daniel is going to rip a flick over the top of the net. But with 40 seconds left to go, certainly he feels pretty good. Daniel going the distance of the field. Wave dash catch. Oh my goodness, he pinned it in. I think aZapatos might have even own goaled it, if I'm being honest. aZapatos, if he had let the ball bounce off, it might have gone across the net instead of in. Is he allowed to forfeit? Yeah, you're allowed to forfeit single games. I think everybody who is watching the matches has admin. And, there's no, like, goal differential tiebreaker or anything like that. So, yeah, I think you can forfeit. Air dribble reset from Daniel. aZapatos doesn't want to forfeit, and that can be, part of your strategy. Whether that means you want to try and wear the other person down mentally, or you just want to try and figure out what your offense is. And, honestly, what you could say is like a stress-free time. aZapatos knows for the past couple minutes, I would say almost, that he had lost this game. So maybe you shake off the nerves, and without any, you try and look for the answer. He hasn't quite found it yet. 13-3 in game number one. Was that his score? Was his score 2,663? I didn't even look for that, but that makes sense considering he had 13 goals. aZapatos says nobody beats me by 10 2 times in a row, or at least he hopes so, as Daniel pops in a reset for the early lead. aZapatos, nice slots. Way to chase down the ball with confidence after this kickoff win. Bumped Daniel to the back wall, grabbed the corner boost, and knew he had a low boost defender, one that he could beat with speed. That is often where aZapatos likes to win. Speed in the midfield. Surprising speed, but he hasn't had enough time to fight for possessions or even control the ball. This is a great flick. Pinched away on the save. Daniel able to evade the bump. aZapatos was thinking bump, couldn't recognize he couldn't chase him down. Tried to just turn and play defensively. It didn't matter. Daniel, oh, he actually pulled out of his flip. That's insane. He like flicked the ball low, and instead of landing, just controlled his car up into the air off the boost to get there with the boost. aZapatos moonball flick with the plank. Ooh, Zapatos over the top. That, ooh, fortunate. But that didn't result in a goal. In fact, it gets him a goal of his own, so sometimes mistakes can work out that way. Daniel not going to the kickoff this time around. Air dribble reset. Zapatos, what a save. Kept it out. He actually just went way too all in on the follow-up. I'm not sure why he did. Let me go back and see. Oh, I think he just thought he got a cleaner landing than that. He didn't need to panic rush to it. He had to make sure the ball got clear of the post because it didn't bounce back up to Daniel. Daniel out of the corner. A classic for him, as he has done this many times, and it's an air dribble to reset for a goal. Daniel has picked apart many opponents with that exact play. It's not going to change here for Zapatos. I mean, it has changed a little bit. He's got 2 goals to Daniel's 4. Zapatos can get such surprising power with that plank off that front flip flick, which is one that normally wouldn't probably convert to as much speed if you weren't using a plank hitbox. Daniel passed to himself over the midfield. Slightly bumped on his recovery. Zapatos just got Daniel to go early. Turn back. He's able to clear it away, but possession is still in favor of Daniel. What is he trying to do off the ceiling right now? Ground pinch. It has a lot of speed, but no shot opportunity comes of it. There is a low 50 win. We were talking about the low 50s for Zapatos and how they can be a bit tougher on the plank, but this time he uses a single jump, uses the front end of his car, which he can control, I think, a little bit better to win those 50s than he can on the side of his car, like he was trying to win the 50 before. Zapatos flick cannot keep Daniel pinned back, gets demoed. Daniel double jump to get the ball on target and air dribble bump to secure it. Wave dash kick out for Zapatos, so he missed the midfield though. Daniel does come to dive. Smooth recovery off the 50 from Zapatos. That's not going to matter much. It's still a Daniel possession. Daniel to the backboard. Zapatos got caught up on the crossbar. He wanted a soft save, but he couldn't control the ball. So the soft save betrayed him. He needed both a soft save and a clean landing. He did not get the latter. Zapatos. His flick sent soaring to the top of the arena, and he found himself on the wrong side of this play. Did not expect Daniel to cut towards net with such little boost. He actually almost beat Zapatos there. Got a goal. Daniel, no final movement on the last reset, so Zapatos will put himself within 2. Definitely a better game 2 for Zapatos. But is it going to be enough with Daniel still in the lead? Zapatos, low 50. Didn't go as favorably this time. Daniel almost able to pinch this one on target. Zapatos going to have to just deal with 39 boost. He actually immediately flicks Daniel. He missed this. It's wide. He needed to put it on if he wanted to score and if he wanted to bring it back, because he needed not only that goal but another. So I think that being off target likely ends game number 2 as well. Daniel continuing to attack as a way to try and secure his win. Does not want to just sit back. Has the reset. It is blocked. aZapatos without a momentum. Normally that's not an issue with his zap dashes, but did need a bit more. Oh, nice shot. Daniel's ridiculous. A little saucy finish for the accent on the Game 2 win. Game number 3. Daniel seems to be fully in control of this match. I'm not sure if these guys matched up against each other in the first round of the salt mine, or sorry, the stage 1 of the salt mine. Nice flick. I can't remember what pool they were a part of, but if they did play, Daniel won the first time around. And certainly Daniel comes in as the favorite this one as well. Daniel, his classic dribble from his own back corner. aZapatos has the first save. Daniel looking to just corral the 50 into the corner and back in front of the nets. aZapatos has turned up the speed though. It's a way to try and stop that offense. Daniel backing up, playing passive. This can really get him in trouble. And it's something that he certainly prefers to do when he can get away with it. His goal line defense is good. I'm not sure that anybody's goal line defense is good enough to get away with it in the long term of these top ones matches, but if you do have someone outmatched like Daniel probably does here with aZapatos, you might be able to play a very passive style like that. He's going to wave dash cut to get his first goal. Daniel dunked. aZapatos chases us down. 3-1 lead. Daniel, this pinch is not on target. Little camera check from aZapatos just to be sure. So he looked at the angle, looked back at the net, said, yeah, that's not in. I don't have to worry about it. Daniel, what a soft first touch with this flip to get this carry. And I actually think getting bumped might have helped out if he did want to try and double it on the ground. Without the bump, he would have been closer to the net. aZapatos almost started his recovery for him. aZapatos pogo. That plank hitbox can be surprising, but just a bit too slow of a play. Daniel able to sit and react. That's what he wants. He wants to be able to just react to aZapatos and win that way. Can he bring this back on target? He tried to drop it in close but couldn't. Now another chance. Was looking for the top right corner, hoping to pop over the top of aZapatos, have him miss and then slot it top right, but aZapatos able to cut it off. Daniel. Oh, aZapatos, what a save. Daniel actually, it's almost a defensive play to get up and make a play on that because he is pointed towards the net, and if aZapatos is able to freely recover, he'll be able to launch it. Something that a half flip probably wouldn't be able to correct the momentum, you know, as well as just jumping and stopping his shot right away, which kept him over there in the orange half, and he's got himself his second goal, slowly trying to work his way back. aZapatos fake touch in the corner. Goes for it for real as Daniel sneaks underneath him. aZapatos just booming the ball. Defenders are so good at saving and recovering in and out of the nets. aZapatos though. Oh wait, it's not on. I don't know if he thought it was on. He went to go get the boost steal. I feel like he could have stayed close and dunked it in, right? switch perspectives, so I guess I don't know. Daniel, he has tied the game on the air dribble resets. Zap is pulling the trigger too early, not really threatening enough on those shots. Yeah, a lot of times against a defender as passive as Daniel, players will make the mistake of shooting from too far out. You need to bring the ball to him, make him make a decision on the goal line. It looks like Daniel is winning on those as well. I'd say aZapatos played that dribble well, threatened the flick, looked to make that outplay close to the net, and Daniel still covered it. And now Daniel, little physical play and a long shot. And now he has himself back where I'm sure he feels he deserves to be, which is a lead. Up 4-3, under a minute. aZapatos front flip. Caught inside the nets. Certainly not the way you want your offense to end. Daniel just needs to play safe. I think he goes for the early reset and 50 because he knows he can control the ball, keep it within his field of play. And he's in a tough spot now. 12 boosts to work with. aZapatos has a lot. He goes high and follows it up. Daniel tried to be patient. You watch only 12 boosts. He looked, I say he tried to be patient. He probably tried to get there as early as he could with the 12 boosts that he had. Now it's going to be a tie game. Daniel won the kickoff, but then got bumped by aZapatos, and oftentimes that wave dash kickoff can make you feel that way. Make it seem like you got to win when you did not. aZapatos, nice boost steal. Has himself an air dribble opportunity. Daniel's going to be low on boost. It's a smooth catch. It's the reset. It drops right down to Daniel, though, and allows him to make a save, even without any boost to work with. So overtime and gain number 3. aZapatos. Series on the line. Daniel delays the kickoff. Gets himself a possession. Hook shots into the top left. And it's perfection from Daniel. Does not drop a single game, and those games can mean everything, as they are what determines the tiebreaker between two players tied based on their matches. Daniel gets the sweep on the shoe.